Welcome to this video in which I will talk a little bit about my favorite modules of 2024. And by that I mean modules that I acquired in 2024. And because the concept of this video is really clear as day, I'll just kick it off with the first one on my list. I'm going through these in alphabetical order, by the way. The first module that I want to talk about is Collide 4 by Your Analog Audio Design. Collide 4 is the modular take on a lock-in amplifier with an added frequency shift or Hilbert network circuit, which makes it even more versatile. I have to stop watching my paper here. And that's already a big strong point of Collide 4. It's just extremely versatile, even though when you first look at the module, you might be puzzled about what the hell you can do with that besides like Heinbach experiments with pinged nuclear explosions. My favorite use of Collide 4 is probably, well, the biggest underusage in the history of Eurorack, but I really just like pinging the filter. I used it a ton on my album Binaural for really gentle melodies, and then I used it through beats with a little bit of grain, so there's a little bit of variation going on, and at some points it starts sounding like polyphonic. But that's just beats magic there. I tried using rings on certain tracks that needed like ambient background melodies, and for some reason Collide 4 was fitting into the mix so much better. It is an expensive module, and well, because I'm on the test team, I did not have to pay for it. But I was thinking about Collide 4 this week, and I absolutely realized that I would dearly miss it should it not be in my rack. Let's play a few sounds that I recorded earlier with Collide 4. It's great at drones, for example, by itself, but also when processing other sounds. Like in this clip, it's just processing a saw output of cycle 5. Of course, there's heaps of reverb in that clip. Let's listen to some pings. So that's Collide 4 just stand alone. Collide 4 is really a beast of a module, not only in size, but also in, well, in performance. It's great. The second module on my list of favorite modules of 2024 is NIBBLER. NIBBLER by Schlappy Engineering. NIBBLER is like an accumulator shift register. You can use it as both things. And when I received NIBBLER, after a few days, I really sent a mail to Eric asking him, what the hell can I do with a shift register? Because I really had no idea. Gave me some pointers, and I started doing some research on like Wranglers and Benjolins and, well, Turing machines. My mind was genuinely blown, and I really spent a few weeks back then in a rabbit hole about linear feedback shift registers and whatnot. I use NIBBLER all the time when I really need like a random clock that does not fit into a grid, because it's easy to find modules that skip like random numbers of steps, but still they fit onto a grid. They follow a main clock, and sometimes I want something that just has no set tempo at all. And then I just patch two cables from any VCO into NIBBLER, and NIBBLER just gives me awesome clocks. Let's listen to an example that I recorded earlier. You can also just listen to NIBBLER's output when you switch the VCOs to audio rates. It's just great. You can do so much crazy stuff with it. You don't need two NIBBLERs, by the way. You can just use one and have loads of fun with that. The third module on my list is SOLIST by Herzlich Labs and me. SOLIST was developed by Lars Bjorn at Herzlich Labs after I told him about an idea I had for like a module that sits in between your sound sources and your mixing setup. And what I wanted from the module, or well, the idea I had was, let's make a module with like 4 channels with soft mutes and soft solo buttons. The idea was to have one button for each finger, or well, one channel for each finger, and then you can, if you buy 2, you can have complete control over your complete jam with just 2 hands. You really don't need to have to think about much else apart from, well, tweaking some filters during your jam, etc. Lars Bjorn did an outstanding job with that module. The module is just, it has turned out so much better than I had anticipated. And I think for people like me who aren't really experienced that much in jamming and performing, and well, probably for people who are experienced as well, it's really a lifesaver. So, well, I'm so happy that my name is on there. Let's have a listen to a short jam made possible with SOLIST. Did I tell you that I absolutely love how SOLIST looks, by the way? That red on black is just awesome. The fourth module on my list is the VENO-ECHO by Venus Instruments. For the longest time I was looking for a nice delay that I could sync to my clock. I started off, in the early days with just like a Pico DSP by Erica Synths. And well, on that module, it sounds great, but you have to manually try to tweak your, well, it's just a pain in the ass if you really want like synced delays. And because I really like the reverb on the Pico DSP, I wanted a second module for delays. So I found a DPLR from WMD. I think it's a cooperation between WMD and SSF, but I'm not sure. And well, that module sounded great. It's a stereo delay, but once again, it's a pain in the ass to try to sync it to your clock. So that didn't solve that problem. It did sound really, really good. So for anyone looking into like stereo delays, and it's not that important whether it's synced or not, the DPLR, if you can find one, it's really great. But well, then I sold that module because I needed money for something else, and I wasn't pleased with the fact that I could not sync the module. Then I got in touch with Andre from Feedback Modules, and he sent me like the 1-bit multitap delay. But once again, the same problem. Even though it's a giant machine, there's no way to sync your delays. And then a friend contacted me who knew I was looking for a synced delay, and he wanted to like do a module exchange because he had a VENO-ECHO that he really didn't use. The guy is really into noisy stuff, so I can imagine that a sync delay is less important than on some of my jams. And well, it's great. It's simply, well, everything that I wanted from a nice delay module. It syncs to the clock very easily. You can change the timing of the left and right channel to different divisions or just a little bit like skewed. It can even do CarPlus strong stuff if you send in a really fast clock. There's like crossfeed between the left and right channel, and there's like drive, and there's a control that like warps the delays like a tape machine. Yeah, it's just mind-blowingly good, and I don't understand why not more manufacturers make those kind of delay modules. I have the older version. There's a newer version that's a little bit slimmer, but I'm sure the feature set is, well, I think it's the same, but it's possible that the firmware is, well, adjusted and made even better. Let's have a listen to a little jam using the VENO-ECHO as a delay. That's it for my favorite modules of 2024. I asked around on my Discord server whether people wanted to contribute to this video. If you want to be able to participate in stuff like that and like join the discussions on Discord and see more videos or see them earlier than on the regular YouTube channel, you can get access to the Discord channel by just supporting on Patreon or Ko-fi. It doesn't matter the amount. It doesn't matter whether you do it once or send me your paycheck for life. Everyone is treated the same. But well, let's have a look at submissions.
Hey, BlastPast here. I'm going to talk about my favorite module of 2024, which is the Erogenous Tones Levitate, right over here. It didn't come out in 2024, and I didn't acquire it for the first time in 2024, but I did acquire a second one in 2024. And the reason for that is because I just love this dang thing. So what is it? It's 10 HP utility module, and it has 8 channels of attenuation, amplification, up to 2 times the input signal, offset voltages, 4 channels of inversion, meaning you can either invert the input signal or you can produce a negative offset voltage. And it also does mixing and submixing. So you can actually mix the top 4 channels together here. You can mix the bottom 4 here as a separate submix, or you can actually bypass this and just mix all 8 into the bottom. Even while you're mixing, you can still access the individual outs without pulling them from the various submixes. The only ones you can't do that on are the 4 and the 8 when they're being used as a mixer. So this thing is awesome. It does so much in such a small space, and I would say the closest module to it is probably the Happy Nerding 3X Mia, which is a fantastic module and does a lot of the same stuff as this. It does offer more submix channels. You can group into 3 mixes of 2 each, but ultimately I find that I use this module a lot more because these knobs zero out at the bottom. They're really easy to kill the input signal by just turning it all the way down. I have a hard time fiddling with attenuverters that go positive and negative and don't have any kind of center detent, so this is really nice. These knobs are fantastic also. They're very easy to see where you are. They feel nice. They're metal. And I like just having the inversion as a separate option. So I use this a lot for mixing CV signals as creating complex melodies where the mix will go out to a volt per octave. And I also really just like it for amplification. It's great for audio in the sense that you could boost the volume of something really low up to a higher level, and you can daisy chain this output into here. Because these go up to 2x gain from the input signal, you can just keep turning these up, daisy chain output 1 into 2, 2 into 3, and keep going and just boost the crap out of your signal. So yeah, this thing is really awesome. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a good utility module, and who isn't, right? So anyways, thanks. Bye.
So that's really going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this style of video. Let me know if you did in the comments. It's always nice to read something there. I hope you learned something or got inspired. See you next time. Bye. Oh, by the way, I hope you have a nice Christmas and New Year. I always forget that kind of stuff. Ole!